I am back to Mowich Lake.
Absolutely flawless in every way.
Well, this is Mowich Lake. It's just under 5,000 feet in elevation, and it's located at the end of a 16-mile gravel road on the far northwest corner of Mount Rainier National Park. It's actually the largest lake in the park, and I came here today because this is the starting point for the Spray Park Trail. And my plan is to go to Spray Park and hopefully catch a sunset.
I don't want this day to end. Wait up, sundown, wait a while before the night descends. All this time, where have you been? I thought I had searched both without and within. I was looking to get wet, standing in the rain. Then you offered your umbrella and
So I'm on my way up to Spray Park, and I stopped off at Spray Falls. It's 0.8 of a mile further up the trail to the park, but I couldn't pass up stopping at the falls. I'm going to see what I can get. It's probably a little hard to hear because of the rushing water, but I'm going to see what I can get as far as a composition here. I've got some green foliage and some wildflowers here that look kind of nice with the rock. And so the light is still really high and it's really harsh. So I'll have to try and manage that as good as I can, but I don't want to hang out here too long. I do want to get up to the park before sunset. So we'll see what happens here. So I think I got the composition set. As I said before, the light's really harsh. It's about 6:10 in the afternoon. Sunset isn't until after 9, so I'm going to manage it the best I can. I didn't mention it, but this is the maiden voyage of the Sony A7R III. I have the 24-70 lens on right now, the f2.8 version, and I'm at 24 millimeters. Focused on the wildflowers and the rocks in the foreground. I do have a polarizer that's turned all the way in, and I have a 6-stop ND filter that's given me an exposure of about 1.6 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, wrap things up here, and head on up trail to Spray Park.
wait up, sundown, wait a while. Please let this moment last.
Man, the bugs are bad. But I'm here in Spray Park, and I found my composition. There's a small little pond here, rock in the foreground with some wildflower and heather around it, reflection of the mountain in the pond, and then the mountain in the background. So just waiting on the sunset and the evening light to change the color of the mountain. So I'm going to tweak my composition and wait things out and swat some bugs. So still waiting on the light and still swatting lots of bugs. Mosquitoes and flies are the pests today. Got my composition set, happy with it. Toyed with some graduated filters just to see how things are going to set up, but obviously won't need those for the final shot. I'm waiting on the sunset to light up the mountain, and then I've got the rock and the pond in the foreground. I'll have some fairly high dynamic range. For that reason, I am going to bracket my exposures, no filters. I do have a remote trigger to avoid any camera shake. I want to get the camera as high as possible because of the composition. So you can see I have my center column extended. I'll be very careful to not get any camera shake. I also want to take just a minute and talk about some of my lack of creativity. I struggled over the past month or so, maybe a little longer, with my vlogs, and I kind of fell into a summer slump. And maybe that's normal. I've heard other people talk about it as well. I started off strong, lots of creativity, lots of ideas, and then I kind of fell flat over the summer. But I'm back out in the national park, back out on the trail, and back out in nature. So hopefully that was just a short-lived slump in creativity. So anyway, I'm still waiting on the light, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've been waiting here about 45 minutes, waiting on the sun. We're about 20 minutes before sunset and starting to get some color on the mountain. I'm not going to wait all the way until sunset because I still have to walk out 3 miles. But it's pretty amazing. I'm here in Spray Park. It's one of the most beautiful places in Mount Rainier, and there are hordes of people here on a weekend in the summer. But I literally have the entire place to myself. I haven't seen any wildlife. But I am keeping my eye out and making a little bit of noise to keep any would-be predators away. But so I'm starting to get some good color on the mountain. As I said, I'm not going to wait until sunset all the way because I don't want to walk completely all the way out in the dark. I'm going to have some headlamp time anyway. As I said before, I'm going to bracket the exposure. The foreground interest is the rock and some heather and some bushes around the rock with a leading line around the pond with the mountain and a reflection of the mountain in the pond. And so again, no filters, no polarizer, f14 1/13 of a second, and I'm at 24 mil. Bracketed exposure, ISO 100. Here we go. Looks pretty good.
I wish I could stay right here and never leave. Wait up, sundown, wait a while. I don't want this day to end. Wait up, sundown, wait a while before.
Wow. There are bugs even when the sun goes down. So it's about 9 o'clock and I'm going to pack up and head out. I got some headlamp time ahead of me to get back to the car. But that about does it for me here in Spray Park in Mount Rainier National Park. Thanks for coming along today. I hope my creativity slump that I talked about earlier is over. I've got a lot of things planned in August and September coming up. And so if you enjoyed the video today, I'd appreciate a like. And if you want to continue to join me as I develop and progress as a photographer, then consider hitting the subscribe button. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.